Hey, you're on.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So, and alright. So we did the macronutrient diet. Okay. So we're the big testicles. So there's no really founder of this diet. It's not even really a specific diet. You can do a keto diet when you do it. You can do intermittent fasting. You can be vegan. You literally can do any type of diet you want. The whole premise is calories in, calories out. So we know from research that you literally could eat Twinkies all day as long as you're eating less calories than you consume, and you would lose weight. That doesn't mean you'd be healthy, but the whole premise is weight loss is one of the #1 problems, and that's how you get it with this diet. So the big thing here is this kind of diet is sort of like everything in moderation. There's literally not a single food you can't eat, because you get to pick what you eat. But it's all about like the ratio of protein, carb, fat, and fiber. It's really patient specific because it takes into account your metabolism, your age, your activity level. It's not like a cookie cutter diet. It's specific for each person. Go ahead. Okay, so the first thing you would do on this diet is you would calculate your macros. This is kind of hard to do, but there are plenty of online sites, and in our little pamphlet I linked one, where you can calculate it. You put in like your age, your height, weight, activity, different lifestyle factors, and it kind of gives you a general guideline of what your like basal metabolic rate is, and then you pick your goal, fat loss, and it'll decrease your calories by 15%. And these are just rough estimates. You obviously have to do it and see. If you lose weight, then you know it's good. But if you're losing more than about a pound a week or so after the first couple weeks, you probably need to raise your calories a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. So one thing that people knock on it a lot for is not getting enough micronutrients and fibers, because a lot of people say if it fits your macros is what this diet's called, and that's kind of like a slang. Like CrossFit is a type of working out. If it fits your macros is a type of macro diet, but they get a bad connotation because a lot of people will advocate like eating all kinds of bad food and just hitting their macros, which will work for weight loss, but they're not that healthy. So one thing that helps that is if you include fiber in your macros, because it makes you eat more whole grains and vegetables instead of just eating, you know, all straight starches and meat and stuff. So for men over 38 grams, roughly, women greater than 25 grams. Granted, you can go way higher than that. I think when I did this diet, I was eating almost 100 grams of fiber. So one of the things you have to do, and this is literally the only like key crucial part, is you have to track your protein, carbs, fat, and fiber. So the best way to do this is on apps on your phone. MyFitnessPal is a great one. It has barcode scanners, so you literally can just scan the barcode and put how much you ate, and it'll automatically deduct it from your goals. So it's really simple. It's a little confusing at first because it's hard to find some foods. You have to improvise and add your own foods, but all in all, it's pretty easy. You can just scan a barcode. You can even type in restaurants. Most restaurants have their meals on there. And like I said, there's no food restrictions. There's literally nothing that you can't eat. I mean, if it upsets your stomach or something, obviously you don't want to eat it, but there's also nothing you have to eat. The only don't go over your goals. I mean, obviously some days you may go over by a few grams in carbs or protein because it's hard to hit those exact numbers. But if you're staying really close, you're not going to be going over your calories very much, and you're definitely going to be losing weight or whatever your goal is. So who should do it? A lot of these diets, a lot of people can benefit from, and a lot of them say it's good for everyone. But in the big scheme of things, like a lot of them are like, oh, it's good for everyone, but only for a few weeks, or like, you know, it's not really good for everyone. But there's literally not a single human on the planet that can't do a macro-based diet unless they can't have access to the internet and can't do simple math. The #1 people that use it though is weight loss. That's the key point here, because a lot of people struggle with weight loss, and that's the big problem. And if you're eating less calories than you're burning in a day, you're going to lose weight. So it's also really good for picky eaters because there's nothing you have to eat. Like a lot of these diets are hard for people because they're required to eat certain foods that they don't necessarily like, and they're also required to not eat foods that they do like. And it's also really good for competitive athletes. I know like Oklahoma State, I know their dietitian, they are all on macro-based diets. And it's really popular. In every diet, you are eating set macros, you just may not track them. So go ahead. So this is like a sample diet plan, and this is actually based on my stats. So obviously 22, 5'10", 225. So I put goal as weight loss just because that's what most people diet for. So that would be my rough estimate of like how many calories I would want to consume to lose weight. And there's my protein, carbs, fat, and fiber. So we try to keep it pretty moderate, more carbs, decent amount of protein, and a decent amount of fat. So it's not like super high fat, super high carbs, super high protein. It's pretty all around, although you can change it however you want. So go ahead. I think that's it. So, any questions?